Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I am back with Follow a Sketch February for February the 15th. And Follow Sketch February is something that Scrapping Reflections on Facebook started a couple years ago. She now does every Friday. She does Follow a Sketch Friday. And then in February, she does Follow a Sketch February every day. And so we have been following along. Yesterday was this 2-page layout for Valentine's Day. And today is this single layout with 6, I think it says 3.5 or 3. I don't know. Some of them say something a little different. It's kind of strange. But anyway, I'm going to cut the pictures to however they're going to work for me. So I did find 6 pictures. And they are from my mom and dad's 50th wedding anniversary. I have a couple pictures of some of the decorations that I know I can cut into however small I want. And then I have this picture of my son and my nephew sitting at the table, and a picture of my aunt and uncle. So this is one of the bigger pictures, so this may be the determining factor for the size. And then I have these 2 pictures of my dad. So I'm going to use all of these, and like I said, probably trim it down to as much as I can trim this one down, and then just gauge the rest of them this way, because I want them to all be the same size. So there is my pictures. I've decided I want to use this Cozy Neutrals from Recollections. It's one of the hot Pop by paper pads. Wow. Because I like the colors in here. They're kind of monotone, and blacks and browns, some tan, and gray. But it also has, in the detailing pages, it has gold. I don't know if you can see that on the video, but those little dots are shiny gold. And then there's cut aparts and things. Not that I'm gonna really have any room per se for a cut apart, but there are lots of different things in here that have the gold that could come in handy. So, and then I have my scraps as well, because if I can use any of those, which is always the goal, then I'll use that, especially probably for matting pictures. I might be able to use these for the matting or the braiding strips and stuff. And then I pulled out my Creative Memory Circle Punch, because there's this little, almost look like maybe they've written little journaling or something on each of those little circles, half circles. So I thought that that would be interesting to do. And I have the other one that's smaller, but I felt like these were going to be probably this one, which I think is 3/4 of an inch. Nope, 1 1/4 inch. I felt like that one was going to be the best size, but we'll see. I have my sketch and my pictures, my Creative Memories Circle Punch, and some papers. So let's see how this goes. So the first thing I did, like I said, was take the first picture, which is this one of my aunt and uncle, which was the widest, and I knew it was going to dictate how big the rest of the pictures would need to be. So I was able to cut them into 3.5 by 3.5. Any more of that, it probably wouldn't have worked. Maybe could have done 3 1/4, but 3.5 worked out just fine. So I got all 6 of those cut down, and then I go to pick my papers. I decided I wanted to use this one with the gold in it, which was kind of the whole point of me picking this paper pad. And I wanted a neutral for the background, and then that black first page I picked out as my front. And then I pulled the border strip page out, because I knew there were a couple things on there that I was wanting to use, because there are at least 2 borders on here. So I pulled some things out that I thought I might use out of the scraps. It doesn't really look like the pictures are matted on this sketch. It looks like they're just on whatever the front paper is. But I wanted to mat them. So I pulled my scraps out and looked for a couple of papers I could work with. So I first pulled out this black and white stripe, and I like it. Set it down up there, trimmed it down to 11 inches. My floral paper is 11.5 by 11.5. In this sketch, it looks like it goes from top to bottom and only has the sides, but I decided to do a full mat. So I get that black and white paper, and it's cut at 11 inches, and then I make a mistake, and I cut this wood grain paper to 10 inches. And when I set it up there with the black and white stripe, I realized, well, shoot, that's not the right thing, and 10 inches will not work because I have 10.5 pictures in width of paper, of the pictures, the 3.5 inch pictures. So when I put that up there, I realize that black and white stripe is going to disappear into the paper because it is pretty much the exact same color of that black floral paper. And so I decide I'm going to MacGyver the wood grain paper with some double-sided tape. It's going to be covered over. You cannot tell at all. And so I tape it together, cut 1 inch off, so it's at 11 inches. And so now I have what I need. They are 11 inches by 3 3/4 of an inch. The two long strips, which were both scraps. So yay, go me. I used at least 2 long scraps in this layout. So I get the first set down, and then I lay the other piece over it so that I can lay the pictures down so they are evenly spaced. They don't have to be in the same place on the paper per se, because they're going to be off kilter once they're laid down. But I want them to have that same space between them, or at least eyeballing same space, because, you know, I don't measure, guys. So I get out the branding strip or the border strips, and I decide which ones I want. I definitely want gold, and I want one for the top and one for the bottom. I have no issues with them not being the same. I'm fine with that. A thin one on the top and a fat one on the bottom, I am good with. I eyeball and lay it down, and then I eyeball and lay the wide one down at the bottom. And I'm using double-sided tape. I buy it off of Amazon. It's like $8 or $9 for a bunch of rolls, and I love it. I will suggest that if you use double-sided tape, that you get the ones with the plastic core and not the cardboard core. Like, you know, masking tape has like a cardboard ring core on the inside. Sometimes that is not the best route to go. So I get that stuff down, and if you saw that layout that I just pulled up, it was sitting on top of this notepad, and it's a layout I just did today. It's so fabulous. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I really, really love it. It's got lots and lots of hearts on it. And so anyway, you'll see that on my Facebook page or my Instagram page. Or if you are a part of scrapbookingwithanemarie.com, it will be on there. So back to this layout. I got another page out of the book, and I fussy cut 2 large floral, well, it's just one flower with some leaves, because I needed one for the top left and the bottom right. So I fussy cut 2 of those off of a wreath page that I won't use, at least not like a wreath. So I will find a way to either fussy cut the rest of those or use that in some way. I don't waste paper, I promise. If you saw my scrap bins, you'd know I don't waste paper. So I lay this down with about a 1/2 inch between the top border and the pictures and the bottom border and the pictures. And I'm not leaving myself a huge gap in between, which I'm okay with. I don't necessarily need it to be, it looks like it's 2.5 to 3 inches wide on the sketch, but it's only about 1.5 inches wide on my layout. So I'm okay with that. So I get the florals down, and I really, really love the way these turned out. I was worried they wouldn't stand out enough against the floral background, but I think they stand out just enough to not take away from the pictures. The leaf and a little bit of the flower come off at the top, and I'm okay with that. I don't want the big flower too much on my dad's head, so I didn't want it right there. So I just trimmed that off, and it looks perfectly fine. I get my Nuvo and make sure that they are tacked down. And then I want this branding strip on here. And this is actually going to be my title. And it says, "Love the life we've built together." I couldn't think of a more fitting title for a page about my parents' anniversary. I've probably made 5 or so layout about their anniversary party. It was 50 years. This is back in 2016. And so it was definitely a fabulous evening. And so lots of pages to decorate and organize these pictures. We took lots and lots. So anyway, I got my Nuvo glue out. It's Nuvo Deluxe, and I love it. And I just tacked down the leaves so that they weren't getting caught on things like as it goes into the page. So the next step is I need to do the little circles or half circles that are on the bottom corner. Now, I will say I got lucky because I didn't really pay enough attention to the way I cut the pictures to be concerned with whether a circle in that bottom left corner of each picture was going to cover something that I needed not covered in the picture. So I just got lucky. If you are planning this out, you may want to trim your pictures in a manner where there is more empty space on your bottom left corner. I cut 3 partial circles out of the 2 scraps that go with the same pattern paper that I matted these pictures on. So it almost looks like it's just a little tag coming up from the matted paper to like cover that little corner. And I even them out so that they would be pretty much the same size. And like I said, I just got lucky that really I'm barely covering anything. And there's nothing being covered that is like, oh no, panic motors. It's like nobody's face or anything. So I'm okay with all of that. The only one that I was, that got covered that even bothered me at all is the 50th anniversary sign in the middle, only because that's the kind of the whole point of this layout. And I'm going to journal this on the little circle with my gold Jelly Roll pen. It's a metallic pen, and it is the best. It writes on dark colors. Oh, it's great. In person, you can see the lettering on these little circles. But this 50th anniversary decoration is from my grandma and grandpa's 50th wedding anniversary. And so she held on to it for all these years so that we can use it for my parents. Bless her heart. So I got out my Tim Holtz Ideology metallic sticker book and pulled 3 different phrases. I chose this one because it's got the gold, and I pulled one that says always and forever, and one that says you make my heart smile, and one that says life is a grand adventure. And I use those as my journaling because in the sketch there's little lines of journaling. And really the only journaling I need is on the little circles. I love that idea. I feel like I'm going to use that in the future. It's such a cute idea of a way to journal that's a little different than my normal, which is just to like write. If you're just like documenting what is on, what the picture is or who's in the picture, typically I just write it somewhere around the picture, but I love this idea. I think it's really cute. So I get out my gemstone box, my little pencil box full of gemstones, and I get a Park Lane gold ones, and I get 2 of the bigger ones, one in each of the centers of the flower in the corners. And then I was going to use some of my small ones. Cannot find them, people. Cannot find them. I know I have the little ones in gold, but couldn't tell you where they are. So I cut out me digging through my stash trying to find them. So I did find these wedding stickers that I had out from a wedding layout I just did. And I pulled some of the little gold squirrel. I think they're supposed to be roses, but they really look just like a little squirrely, curly Q squirrely. Wow. Anywho, so now I am done, and there's the sketch, and here are the up close I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you'll come back, and I hope you get a chance today to do something you love with someone you love. Happy scrapping!